All right, let's jump right into a question that's, well, about as deep as it gets. It's about the very nature of reality. Is math something we just stumble upon, like discovering a hidden treasure? Or is it something we actually build from the ground up, like a skyscraper?
And look, this isn't just some dusty philosophical debate for academics. The answer to this question, it changes everything. Are we talking about the fundamental operating system of the universe here? Something that's true whether we're around to see it or not? Or is math just a really, really clever language that we invented to describe what we see?
So here's the breakdown. You've got two main camps, right? On one side, you have team discovery. They're all about math being this objective, universal truth that's just out there, totally separate from us. And on the other side, team invention. They say, nope, it's a human-made tool, a language we built and have been tweaking for centuries. Let's start by digging into that first idea, the discovery angle. You know, for a lot of people, the idea that math is discovered just feels right. It makes intuitive sense. I mean, how could something so perfect, so consistent everywhere in the universe be something we just made up? For people who believe this, math isn't something we create at all. It's more like a sculpture that's already hidden inside a giant block of rock. And that sculpture metaphor, it's a really powerful one, isn't it? It perfectly captures that feeling. The idea that something like pi or the relationship between the sides of a right-angled triangle was always true. It was just waiting for us humans to come along and, chip away at the surrounding rock to finally see it. But what if that beautiful idea isn't the whole story? Yeah, the argument we're looking at today suggests that this whole sculpture in the rock idea, as beautiful as it is, might just be a nice fantasy, a really comforting story we tell ourselves about how neat and tidy the universe is. So let's flip the coin and look at the other side of this argument. Because when you start to really scrutinize mathematics, you begin to see, you see the human fingerprints all over it. You start finding these little cracks in what's supposed to be a flawless, perfect foundation. From this point of view, math is anything but perfect. It's got some surprisingly shaky foundations. It has these weird, kind of quirky artifacts like the whole concept of infinity that don't really show up in the real world. Every single definition we use, it's a human-made agreement. And get this, math doesn't model reality itself, it just models the specific bits and pieces of reality that we decide to focus on. The idea is that the numbers themselves aren't real. The only things that are real are the ink and the paper we use to write them down. Okay, so if math isn't a sculpture that we just find, then what is it? Well, there's another metaphor, and it might be even more powerful. Forget about the passive act of discovery. Instead, think about the active, intentional process of creation. Think of a massive cathedral. This is a total 180 from the sculpture idea, right? A cathedral doesn't just exist. It's not hiding anywhere. It has to be built. People have to design it, they have to haul to stone, they have to put it together, stone by painstaking stone, sometimes over generations. It's this enormous, collaborative, purely human project. And the argument goes that mathematics is exactly like that. So how do you build a cathedral of ideas like this? It's not by finding some ancient, pre-existing blueprint. No way. You build it over millennia of deep thought and hard work. It's a messy process, full of trial and error, tons of dead ends. The only reason its rules work is because we as humans have all agreed that they do. It's a consensus. We decided that 2 + 2 makes 4. It's an incredible human achievement, not some law of nature that was handed down to us. So let's really put these two ideas head to head. First, you've got that nice fantasy, right? The sculpture in the rock. The idea that we're just passively discovering something that's always been there. And then you have this, a grand, difficult, messy, but totally awe-inspiring human accomplishment, the cathedral. The active process of creating something magnificent, literally building it from the ground up, where nothing existed before. So if you start seeing math this way, as an invention, it completely changes what it is, doesn't it? It's no longer some mystical language of the universe or language of God. It becomes something else entirely. It becomes a tool, a stunningly powerful and elegant tool for sure, but a tool nonetheless. It's a piece of equipment we built for a very specific job, to describe reality from our human perspective. And if you think about it that way, reality itself, it probably doesn't need numbers and equations to just be reality. Now, there is a famous middle ground. The 19th century mathematician Leopold Kronecker kind of split the difference. He famously said that God made the integers, the basic counting numbers, 1, 2, 3. That part he thought might be fundamental. But all the rest, calculus, algebra, all that complex stuff, that's the work of man. That's our invention.
But the argument we're exploring today doesn't stop there. It actually pushes things one final, pretty radical step further. It takes even Kroneker's nice little compromise right off the table.
And here it is, the ultimate conclusion of this viewpoint. God and numbers have absolutely nothing to do with each other. It's not just the complicated stuff that's man-made. It's everything. Even the simple act of counting. 1, 2, 3, that's us. All of it. A system of symbols we invented, completely from scratch, just to make sense of our world.
And that leaves us with a really fascinating and kind of mind-bending final thought. If math isn't the actual fabric of reality, but just the language we invented to describe it, well, that implies it has limits. Just like any language, there must be things it can't say, ideas it can't express. So you have to wonder, what truths about our universe are we completely blind to? What questions can we not even begin to ask simply because we haven't invented the right words yet?